Morning, Mendocino County Civil Service Commission meeting has come to order at 9 a.m. Clerk, please conduct roll call.
Commissioner Wiley,
Here.
Commissioner Slater,
Here.
Commissioner Ebbium, here, Commissioner Rose,
Here.
Commissioner Winiger is absent by prior arrangement.
Clerk, has the proper postings of the agenda been established?
Yes, it has.
Item 2 is approval of minutes of the October 15, 2025 commission meeting. Commissioners, do you have any comments on this item?
I did, but I got answered today, so I'll move to accept the minutes as written.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that the minutes for the October 15, 2025 commission meetings be approved. Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Commissioner Ebbium,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Slater.
Aye.
Motion approved unanimously.
Item 3 is a public expression. This is opportunity for the public to address the commission on matters not listed on the agenda. Individuals wishing to address the commission under the public expression are welcome to do so via email, Zoom, or voicemail message. For more information, please visit the Mendocino County Civil Service Commission webpage. All written correspondence received by 8 a.m. The day of the meeting will be attached to the item and made available online on the Civil Service Commission webpage. Do we have any in the room or online comments?
Nothing online.
Item 4, this is opportunity for employees, organizations, representatives to address the commission. No action will be taken at this time. Do we have anybody online or in the room?
Seeing nothing online.
Okay. We will not do closed session this morning. We will move on to item 6 is a reclassification of incumbent from account specialist 3 to department analyst 1 for the sheriff department jail. Human resources will present the item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brandy Dalzell, Human Resources Manager. Before you, we have an item that I have worked with the Sheriff's Office with regarding an incumbent who is currently classified as an account specialist 3, and we are reclassifying her to a department analyst 1. The reasoning behind this is there's been some movement, if you will, people coming and going within the Sheriff's Office. And this particular incumbent has taken on extra work, and that it is beyond her current classification of account specialist 3. Her duties have increased, her responsibilities have increased, and they are more in line with that of a department analyst 1. Some of those things include handling purchases for all of the jail. She is doing reconciliation of inmate commissary accounts. She's also doing cost per unit analysis, which is in-depth analysis of the items being purchased and or food and supply purchases. And she's also doing reporting of grant and departmental requirements as needed. With this, there were conversations with the sheriff and the undersheriff, as well as her direct supervisors in discussing the reclassification of this particular incumbent. And online, we are joined by Juanita Drayling, who is the admin services manager 2, that was part of the conversations, as well as the incumbent Omega Clemens is online for any comments or questions that she may have. And if at this time you have any questions, we are ready for you.
Is this a union position or is it exempt?
This is a civil service position, and it is also part of the SCIU union.
So we assume that there's already other department analyst 1s? Or is this?
There are current department analysts at different levels, 1, 2, or senior or a principal, but in this particular department, there are senior department analysts that she will be moving up to a department analyst 1, be classified.
Underneath them.
will not be directly reporting to the other senior department analysts. She will be continuing to report to her current supervisor and Juanita Drayling, who is the administrative services manager in the department.
Brandy, the senior analyst in our department is her current supervisor. And we only have one other department analyst, and that department analyst is assigned to payroll.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I have a question. Does this initiate any kind of probationary period or anything like that? Or is that waived because she's a current incumbent?
The probationary period, yes, she will have, if she has reached permanent status, which is a year in a SEIU position, it all is determined by the MOUs that people will fall under. If she has reached permanent status, then the probationary period is 6 months within the new classification.
Thank you.
And SEIU has no issue with this?
She's moving from one SEIU classification to another. So they would be online if they had questions.
Okay,
Would it be safe to say that there's a pay raise in that as well? Or can I ask that question?
I don't think we can talk about that.
yeah,
I can't ask that question. Okay.
money is not our purview.
Right.
I've been told more than once.
Do we have any other questions, commissioners? Clerk, is there any members, the public that wish to speak on 6A?
I don't see any online.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I move to approve the reclassification of incumbent from account specialist 3 to department analyst 1.
And I'll second.
Been moved and second that the reclassification of incumbent from account specialist 3 to department analyst 1 for the sheriff jail is approved. Can we get a roll call?
Commissioner Slater,
Aye.
Commissioner Evian,
Yes,
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
motion passes unanimously.
Item 6B, title change modifications, new classifications, reclass incumbents, abolishment of classifications for social services for welfare fraud investigative unit. Human Resources will present the item.
Good morning, commissioners. Brandy Dalzell, Human Resources Manager. This item before you is a study that we worked with Department of Social Services, where the welfare fraud specialist investigative unit is. And the welfare fraud investigative unit has undergone some changes, and as well as looking at those reclassifications that are before you, and new classification arise from currently there is a welfare investigator 1-2 classification as we are today. The welfare investigator 1 classification is a classification that is not being used and has not been used and likely not to be used because of the qualifications of the investigator to become the welfare investigator 1.
wait a minute. Can I interrupt? I thought you said, you said the welfare investigator 1, it's not being used and won't be used because why?
Because of the minimum qualifications. One of the things that has to happen is with a welfare investigator 1, the county would put the incumbent through post-training to become a sworn officer. That costs additional funds for the unit. So therefore, they typically do not hire at a welfare investigator 1 level. They hire at what we have currently as a welfare investigator 2 level, which is a sworn officer.
Gotcha.
Moving forward, because they would like to be able to hire at a lower level to grow someone and within that fits the needs of the department, we are proposing a new classification of a welfare fraud specialist. And the specialist would come in as a non-sworn incumbent, and there is no requirement to be sworn. However, they will be assisting in the investigations of the welfare fraud investigator proposed new classification as well. In addition to those two new classifications, we are requesting a title change and modification to the chief welfare investigator to become the chief welfare fraud investigator. That classification hasn't been reviewed since 2003, I believe. And with that review and the reorganization of the welfare fraud unit within Department of Social Services, we have updated that classification to be more in line with the duties and responsibilities and requirements of the the chief welfare fraud investigator today. With the proposed new classification of welfare fraud specialist, welfare fraud investigator, and the title change modifications of chief welfare fraud investigator, we are also going to recommend at the same time to abolish the current welfare investigator 1 and 2, because those will no longer be being used with the approval of the 2 new.
So you mentioned that in the new classification for welfare fraud specialists, there were minimum requirements, it's not sworn. Is that the same with the other position, the fraud investigator?
So there is always going to be minimum qualifications of any classification. What is not part of the qualifications for a welfare fraud specialist is that of being a post or a sworn incumbent.
Okay, and is that true for the other position, the fraud investigator?
They have to have posts. They have to be they have already, which means they have gone through the training to be a sworn officer.
Okay,
That's the 1 and 2s, right?
no,
That would be equivalent to the 2 today as a sworn officer. And then we would
oh,
now make it just a welfare fraud investigator.
So looking at the flow chart, so we have the chief welfare fraud investigator who must have post certification.
Yes.
And then on the flow below, we have the eligibility specialist supervisor and 2 welfare fraud investigators. So any of those below do not require post certification?
The welfare fraud investigator will require a post.
Okay.
Specialist and both the eligibility specialist supervisors and or specialists, as well as the welfare fraud specialist, do not require posts.
They won't.
Okay.
And online, we do have Brandon McGregor, who is the acting chief welfare fraud investigator with us, that he could answer additional questions.
So we're forming new classifications.
For the specialist.
And are there current employees who would, or is this going to go through a hiring process to?
Great question. The reclassification of the existing employees currently, there are only 2, Brandon McGregor being one of them, and another incumbent that would be reclassified. And those would, Brandon McGregor is acting, his natural position is a welfare investigator 2. He would be reclassified to a natural position of welfare investigator, still assuming the role of acting chief welfare. And the other incumbent would be reclassified as, he would not be reclassified as he is currently a natural chief, but he,
So this opens up the opportunity for more employees to help this department
absolutely.
by bringing in some entry level positions without the requirement for post.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the cost. Going through the
Okay.
system.
so I just want to be clear on this. So the 2 positions being abolished, welfare investigator 1 is currently a sworn position?
Within a year, they have to be sworn.
Yes, and the welfare investigator 2 is a sworn position.
Correct.
By creating these new classifications, one of them is a non-sworn position, so it opens up for the first time a non-sworn position.
Yes.
Okay,
Are these all union positions? Or,
The welfare investigator, the welfare fraud investigator belongs to the DSA Department, Deputy Sheriff's Association because of their sworn status. The new classification of welfare fraud specialist will be assigned to SEIU.
And then forgive me, I didn't read through the fraud investigator. I would assume that anyone who starts in at the entry level positions would then have to go through post training to move up to the higher departments.
They opt, if an incumbent who is in a welfare fraud specialist position opts not to get training, they would never be able to promote to
right.
investigator.
Okay, understood. Okay.
I do have one request that on the chief welfare. No, excuse me, with the. Yes, chief welfare fraud investigator, there is a clerical error under the minimum qualifications for education and experience that if approved, I would ask for the approval to include the word years after 3
Yeah,
full-time experience.
I got that down too. Also, the other one that says pattern 2 and pattern 3, would that be a pattern 1?
Pattern 1 would be the first one where it says 3 full-time years.
So which one do you want modified? Pattern what? 3?
The modification would be chief welfare fraud investigator.
Which, where does,
It would be
It's under education and
all right,
education and experience.
where within, I know
After
that,
the number 3.
after the,
3 years.
is it for pattern 3?
It would actually be pattern 1.
Oh, okay, okay.
it would say 3 years full time.
Yes,
Well, it says that, it doesn't,
the word years is missing.
oh, it just says 3. Okay. Gotcha. Okay,
Ready for me, but nobody has any questions.
Any other questions or comments?
Seeing nothing online.
Anything online? No?
Nope.
Anybody like to make a motion?
sure, I'll make a motion to approve modifications of chief welfare investigator and title change to chief welfare fraud investigator. Second, is to approve the new classification for welfare fraud investigator, as well as the new classification for welfare fraud specialist. Also to abolish welfare investigator 1 and welfare investigator 2. And finally, to approve the reclassification of incumbents from welfare investigator 2 to welfare fraud investigator.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded that the item 6B, the title change modification, new classification, reclass incumbents, abolish of classifications for social services and welfare fraud investigative unit. Is there any further discussion?
With the modification that
You should have.
he added, years be after 3 under education and training.
And the word pattern.
Word pattern.
That one.
Okay. Clerk, we do roll call?
Commissioner Ebbian,
Yes,
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Commissioner Slater.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Agenda item 8 is to be used for human resources, to provide information to the commission regarding human resources.
Morning. Assistant HR Director Denise Bartolome. We have nothing today to share.
Nothing today.
That's a good day.
With no further business today, this meeting is adjourned at 9:19.
wow,
Perfect.
Bing,
that's the shortest.
bang, boom.
One of the shortest ones.
Almost a